Before filing for bankruptcy, MC Hammer was spending $1 million per month on his entourage consisting of 200 people, while DMX had to file bankruptcy 3 different times despite selling over 70 million records worldwide. However, let's begin by talking about 50 Cent, who shocked the entire world when he filed for bankruptcy in 2015. During his prime, 50 was one of the biggest artists in the world. He had some of the biggest albums of all time and 4 #1 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. He also famously made over $100 million when he sold his stake in vitamin water in 2007. Through all his endorsement deals and products, 50 Cent made around $300 million in 2 years. So, how did this once sizable fortune result in him filing for bankruptcy with over $32 million in debt? Well, everything went downhill thanks to his feud with Rick Ross. 50 had managed to get his hands on an adult tape involving Rick Ross and Ross's girlfriend at the time. After uploading the video to the internet, 50 thought he had the last laugh, but that would not be the case. The girl in the tape successfully sued 50 for $7 million. In addition, 50 had to hand over $17 million to headphone manufacturer Sleek after an arbitration hearing ruled that 50 Cent's headphone company had copied the design of Sleek Audio's product. G-Unit Records, a record label created by 50 Cent that once dominated hip-hop, was far from the heights it reached in the early to mid-2000s and had fallen off thanks to low sales. Sadly, 50 was living well beyond his means. His bankruptcy document showed that 50 was now only making $185,000 per month, which of course when compared to his lifestyle in the prime of his career was a huge difference. Out of that $185,000 total, he spent $72,000 on his 18-bedroom mansion in Connecticut, which he originally bought from Mike Tyson. The other $108,000 were spent on menial expenses such as $5,000 per month to his gardener. The documents also showed that 50 still owed money to his stylist, barber, and fitness coach. Surprisingly though, 50 claimed that the luxury items he put up on social media were just fronts. 50 was leasing or renting his luxury assets like his Bentleys, Ferraris, private jets, and jewelry. Fortunately for 50, he paid back 23 of his $32 million debt within 2 years of filing for bankruptcy. Eventually, he became debt-free and transformed his career from a rapper to a producer, and now has some of the biggest shows in Hollywood thanks to his successful Power franchise. Today, his net worth is at $40 million. However, the next rapper on our list wasn't as fortunate as 50 Cent in recuperating his wealth. DMX had one of the most legendary careers in hip-hop history. He had 5 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 and sold over 70 million records around the world. But somehow he still went completely broke and had to file for bankruptcy not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. So, how did DMX end up having a net worth of -$1 million? Well, most of it came from legal troubles. You see, DMX had 17 children with 11 different women. This led to several child support claims draining his wealth. In 2018, he was sued for $1.5 million in unpaid child support after DNA testing proved he was the father of an unclaimed baby. Then in 2012, he was sued again by a different woman for another $1 million worth of child support. A year after this lawsuit, he would file for bankruptcy for a second time. Court documents showed that DMX was somewhere between $1 million to $10 million in debt, but only had $50,000 in assets. After filing for his 3rd bankruptcy in 2016, things only continued to get worse for him. Court documents showed that DMX owed $950,000 to Compass Bank, $305,000 in overdue child support to one woman, $231,000 to another different woman, and a stunning $1.4 million in family support. In 2018, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison for tax evasion and needed to pay back $2.29 million to the US government after serving his time. Sadly, DMX passed away in April of 2021 at only 50 years old. Surprisingly, DMX never left a will, so even after his passing, his family remained tied up in financial litigation. The next person on our list, Scott Storch, was not a rapper, but he's one of the biggest producers in hip-hop history. He's worked with everybody from 50 Cent and Dr. Dre to even Beyonce and Justin Timberlake. Of course, his amazing work led to him achieving incredible wealth. However, the way he blew through $70 million in only 3 years is astonishing and needs to be studied. His substantial net worth took a huge dive thanks to his ridiculously lavish spending. Storch had a massive 30 high-end luxury car collection that included Bugattis, Ferraris, and Bentleys. In 2006, he bought a $10 million mansion on Miami's ultra-exclusive Palm Island, which housed more than 20 staff members, including a boat captain who took care of Storch's $20 million yacht. His monthly overhead for his staff was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million a month, which he claims wouldn't have been an issue if he had continued working and going to the studio instead of partying and doing drugs. With no money coming in to balance out his insane spending, it was only a matter of time before Storch's finances hit rock bottom. By 2009, Storch had blown through his entire $70 million plus fortune and filed for bankruptcy. In 2015, he filed for bankruptcy a second time after claiming to have only $3,600 in assets, which was made up of $100 in cash, $500 worth of clothing, and a $3,000 watch. To everyone's surprise, he valued his music company at $0, and in 2014, he made only $10,000 total. Lil Kim was a hip-hop superstar in the late 90s and early 2000s. Her debut album Hardcore went 6 times platinum, and her sophomore album, The Notorious K.I.M., went 3 times platinum. So, it came as a complete shock to her fans when she filed for bankruptcy in 2018. Official court documents revealed that Kim was earning a comparatively small $18,000 a month, but roughly $14,000 of those dollars were spent on personal expenses. To break it down even further, $2,000 went to staff, another $2,000 was spent on clothing, and $10,000 went to travel fees. It's obvious Kim was living well beyond her means, especially since her music career had fizzled out long before filing for bankruptcy. Kim owed $1.85 million to the IRS in unpaid taxes, in addition to still owing $2 million on a loan for her New Jersey mansion she purchased way back in 2002. Things got so bad for her that she had to borrow $25,000 from another fellow hip-hop icon, Missy Elliott. Luckily, in 2019, Kim was able to dig herself out of $4 million in debt by getting her finances into good shape and having her bankruptcy case dismissed thanks to a loan modification on her New Jersey home. Unfortunately, the next rapper on our list, Exhibit, also faced a similar situation to Lil Kim. Although Exhibit had a decent rap career, achieving 1 platinum album and 2 gold albums, he was most known for Pimp My Ride. The 2004 hit TV show ran for 3 years and boosted Exhibit's popularity into the mainstream. However, almost 2 years after the show ended, he owed the IRS almost $1 million and filed for bankruptcy in 2009 and then again in 2010. According to documents, the biggest reason for Exhibit's financial woes was the cancellation of Pimp My Ride. During the last year of Pimp My Ride in 2007, Exhibit made roughly $500,000, but the next year in 2008, he only made $67,000. That was a pay reduction of about 86%. Unfortunately, both attempts to file for bankruptcy were dismissed by the IRS, and he was forced to foreclose his mansion and sell his other properties. Perhaps the most shocking revelation in all of this is that Exhibit didn't even own a car. Let that sink in. The host of a show centered around cars did not own a car. Instead, he had a lease on a Range Rover that cost him $2,200 a month. However, it's no surprise that the next rapper on our list is T-Pain, as he's explained multiple times how brutal his bankruptcy was. During T-Pain's peak, he was absolutely unstoppable. Not only were his own songs super successful, but seemingly every song where T-Pain was a featured artist also did massively well. This led to him building a net worth of over $40 million. Sadly, T-Pain was reckless with his finances because his closest friends in hip-hop advised him that as long as he kept rapping, the money would keep on coming in. Nothing bad's ever gonna happen to you. It's just girls and swimming pools all the time. Nobody ever sat me down and explained that all this good stuff can go away. Among his many expensive purchases was a brand new Bugatti he bought for $2.1 million, only to sell it shortly after for $800,000. But it only gets worse from here. After his accountant told him that he was out of money, T-Pain went and bought a house for himself and another house for his assistants, runners, and producers. He said he never bothered to check his bank balances, assuming that the royalty statements would keep rolling in. He was wrong. In 2019, after blowing through $40 million in 12 years, he filed for bankruptcy. He admitted that at one point, he was so broke he had to borrow money just to buy Burger King for his kids. During the early 2000s, Ja Rule dominated hip-hop. He had 4 platinum albums and multiple Billboard Hot 100 hits, including a #1 record with Jennifer Lopez that made him a household name. Between 2004 and 2006, he earned $3 million, but he failed to claim this income and was fined with a $1.1 million bill by the IRS. In 2011, after pleading guilty to tax evasion, he was sentenced to 28 months in prison. However, he clearly didn't learn his lesson because in 2019, it was reported that Ja still owed the IRS $2 million in back taxes. In 2021, the IRS came after Ja for a 3rd time, suing him and his wife over unpaid federal taxes, totaling more than $3 million. It makes you wonder, how many times does someone have to get in trouble with the IRS before learning they have to pay their taxes? In January of 2024, Ja Rule shocked the music world after tweeting, "Just signed my new label deal, potentially worth $100 million. So far, no one believes this, but only time will tell if Ja Rule was really telling the truth or just capping. Someone who is notoriously famous for going broke is MC Hammer. In 1990, Hammer's album Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em became the 8th best-selling hip-hop album of all time. It sold more than 18 million copies worldwide and featured the smash record Can't Touch This. Unfortunately, despite making close to $70 million at his peak, MC Hammer was not able to stay out of financial trouble. He had more than 17 luxury cars, 21 racehorses, a private jet, and 2 helicopters. The biggest expense was his house. It was a 40,000 square foot mansion which cost him $12 million. He spent a further $30 million making it his own. This included a gold hot tub and toilet, statues of himself, Italian marble floors, tennis courts, and a basketball court. He kept a staff of 200 people on the payroll to handle pretty much everything you can imagine, and notoriously rolled with an entourage 40 deep, paying out a staggering $500,000 per month to support everybody. According to Hammer himself, "I didn't just take the money and say, I want to be a blessing to myself. I took my money and employed 200 people in my community." MC Hammer may have had good intentions, but financially, it was not a smart move because in 1996, he filed for bankruptcy after blowing through $70 million in 6 years. To make matters worse, he was $13 million in debt and forced to sell his house for around $5 to $6.5 million, which is just a fraction of the $42 million he spent on his dream home. In 2011, he told Oprah that even if he could, he wouldn't go back and change anything. "I really believe in the butterfly effect, meaning that if I change one thing, everything else changes. I lose the kids I have now. I lose the relationships I have now. I lose the peace I have now. So I'm very happy with my decision."